Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life After Kids with Doctors Brooke and Lynne. I'm Dr. Brooke.
I'm Dr. Lynne.
And we're so glad you're here today.
Welcome.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Love the holidays. And, this is a time when we get to have so much fun and spend time with families and friends. But there's a lot of dun-dun-dun.
Yes.
Sugar.
Well, Halloween, sugar. Halloween kicks off. Right? I feel like the holiday, okay, the holidays are on us and let's get all the chocolate out and all the, the kids come home with the bags full of, and off we go.
Yep. And the mini chocolate bars and all the things are around us to tempt us.
Yeah.
All day long.
Absolutely. And so I think it's worth the discussion of belly fat.
Yes, because it's related. And I know that so many of us in midlife are really, wanting to keep that in check. And or if we've found ourselves in a situation where we are storing more weight on our belly than we used to, or, it's a problem for us, then we want to know things that can help.
Yeah, and I think this is the stage of life where we can start to find out and realize that the things that we used to do to manage our weight
at this age
are not necessarily working anymore, and we can find weight in places that we didn't have it before, which can often be the midsection.
Yeah, so for me, one of the things that used to work, and ladies, let me know if you are in the same boat, is starvation diets. Like, duh, but really and truly, it is a big part of why people do store fat right in that midsection, because if we're not consistent with nourishing our body will think that we're starving, and in that situation it wants to keep us alive, so it's going to store fat more easily.
I'm so glad you brought this up. This is such a good point, because it's just a tricky topic, talking about weight and belly fat, right? Mm-hmm. Because
it's sensitive.
It's a sensitive topic. There's different viewpoints, but this is not about calorie counting and starving yourself and being miserable, because in this phase of life, we should be enjoying ourselves. And part of that is enjoying the food that we eat and not constantly worrying about how's that going to affect me? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we don't want that either. There's a fine line. And you're so right. Not eating. It's not about the amount of calories. It's about what type of calories you're eating, first of all, and you can keep it here. Yeah. It's such a good point.
So what does work for belly fat? What are some things that you think of first when you think of helping belly fat?
Yeah, so for me, the first thing that comes to mind is hormone balance.
Okay.
Because, and this is typically why around our age, in our 40s, and then even later into the 40s and sometimes into the 50s, when our hormones start to shift and perimenopausal things with the ovaries, and I've talked about this before, but with the ovaries calming down, there's an estrogen decrease. And our body still needs estrogen. If our adrenal glands, which are our stress handlers, aren't picking up that slack, there's another way that our body makes estrogen. And I hate to tell you this, ladies, fat cells. It's our fat cells. And so if your body's needing more estrogen and it's not in a good balance, your body may start to deposit more fat cells so that it has the estrogen it needs. And sometimes, most of the time, it shows up right here.
So it really is really tied into your hormones.
And stress.
Stress is the one thing that I would say that is in our control, at least for the most part, for us to be able to help manage with belly fat, because of the piece with the adrenal glands are our stress glands, and the hormone cortisol, which if we're constantly on that hamster wheel, that cortisol is going to work against us being with our metabolism and being fit and efficient, and it's going to want to store fat.
Absolutely. And that's such a good point. And here in this to comment a little bit more on the stress management piece, if you are doing kill yourself workouts every day, right? Where you're doing all of this cardio and intense, and not listening to your body on days where you're feeling a little off and pushing it anyway, you're creating more stress in your body.
Which is so frustrating when you're doing all the things and you think, I'm working with a trainer and I'm working out every day and I'm still not losing weight, right? Is there anything more frustrating? I've been there.
Yeah, and sometimes it really is, you're overtraining. You're over-exercising. For women our age, that is a thing.
You know, that's so interesting that you bring that up, because I love to work out. I love to get in the gym, and I like to work hard when I'm there for the most part. And this year I dialed it back a little bit because not working out at the gym that I was at, I'm doing it at home. And traditionally that's always worked against me. And this year, I'm a little older again, but I'm working out harder and I'm working more body parts, but I'm doing it in a shorter period of time, and I am taking days off, and I'm actually seeing better results.
Yeah, because your body has to have rest days. And if there's days on top of that where you didn't get a great night's sleep, or the night before you ate the wrong things, or you're overly stressed, there's a balance, because sometimes you need to move your body to burn the stress. But if you're worn down, it's not the day to have a heavy workout. And sometimes we want to push through that, especially if we're worried about, physical health and things like that. And we want to just push through it.
No,
it's not a good thing. And it's a recipe for you getting yourself into a situation where your body holds on to everything.
Yes. And so, it's really, there's a combination for everybody. There's genetics do play a role in terms of how, if you look at your mom, your grandmother, how they stored weight. So I do think we have to have an acceptance of our body shape
100%
as well. But, if you are noticing some areas of, the belly fat that weren't there before, it really could pay to look into your hormone levels and examine your stress as well.
Yeah, and another topic, she brought the hormones up again, circling back to this, and another time that we do a vlog, we should talk about hormones and hormone, because there's a lot of talk now about like hormone replacement, and
it's been a hot topic for years.
Yeah, but it's circling back to now we've come full circle, and now people are saying, oh, this is a really good thing, whereas just several years ago, it was a really bad thing, from the Framingham study and all of these things. So, but there are other ways to, we'll talk about this another time, but
natural
guys,
hormone
yes.
balancers.
And when you say that it might be time to look at your hormones, it might be, and there are ways to affect your hormones just with what you eat. So that's a whole nother discussion, but
great.
Yeah. And what else? Do you have anything else to talk about here?
Yeah, I just think that, exercise is a key piece, and also timing. So if you're going to eat those candy bars, which, by the way, I like those too.
I love chocolate. I'm a chocolate.
I know. And I try to eat the ones that don't have all of the chemical junk. So, buy the best junk food that you can afford. It's still junk food, but you tend to eat less of it because it's
not
expensive.
Junk food. If it came from Whole Foods, it is not junk food.
I will subscribe to that mentality sometimes, but it's not true. But I think it's timing. So if you're going to eat that, eat it earlier in the afternoon and then go for a brisk walk. Like if you can exercise within a half hour of eating that sugary food and that snack, your body is going to use that and just start the metabolism wheel, and it'll burn it in most cases.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you brought that up. That is such a good point, because we're on the cusp of the holidays. We are going to be eating the things. We're going to have the piece of pie. We should enjoy this time, this season. We want to enjoy all the seasons. And that is a great tool and a great piece of advice. And take a walk after you eat. Even if you don't do that, if you don't want to take the time to do that, or you could just do some squats.
Yes.
Some lunges.
Just movement.
Moving your body in any way will help you burn that sugar off. And what will happen then is it stops you from having that sugar drop.
Yes.
Right? Where now you just afterwards, you've had those moments where you have a piece of cake or pie and then all of a sudden you're starving all day long. Yeah. Because now your blood sugar is doing this. If you do that physical activity, that'll cut that out.
That roller coaster of insulin.
Yes. And another thing that you can do is make sure, like, if you're having some sugar, a little bit of fat and some fiber with it too will help calm that blood sugar. Yes, that's such a great
point. Never eat sugar on its own. Mm-hmm. So,
even a piece of fruit can be tough.
Too much. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Always combine sugar, carb with a protein or a fat. Mm-hmm. Ideally not both, but choose one or the other and eat it first. So eat the fat first, because you're going to fill up, and not want as much of that sugar. Like you said, if you just eat the sugar, you'll find that. You'll have those days where you think, I'm so hungry today. And if you thought back on it, you probably started your morning with something that was high in carbohydrate, that wasn't balanced or offset by protein or fat.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point. And what else? Sleep. I know you wanted to talk about that too.
Again, it's one of those things that it's like, sleep. I get good sleep. No, I don't get good sleep.
Yeah.
But we don't often think that, studies will show people that get good quality sleep have less abdomen weight. They have less belly weight. So it's, again, goes back to cortisol and stress. And when you don't sleep, you have higher levels of that coursing through your bloodstream.
Yeah. And, let's talk before we wrap this just for a second about, take the vanity out of it, because this isn't a discussion on vanity. Yeah. And like you said, everybody's built different. Our body structures are different. So it's all about what you're comfortable with and what's healthy for you. But there is also a piece where, weight, specifically visceral fat in your belly, there's a direct correlation to heart health and overall health. And so this is
that's huge.
At our age,
Such a
and
good
as
point.
we age, we need to, and I know you and I are both on this page, like we're planning on living our best life well into our 90s. And if you want to show up healthy and strong and change the face of aging, this is a key.
Today.
Yeah, and this is a key piece.
Yeah,
because it definitely does correlate to your overall health.
Yeah, just think about that. If you need that extra motivation to change up your habits or change up your lifestyle, think about that. The fat that's on your belly, it's not just sitting on your belly; it's also getting wrapped around your organs, your liver and your intestines, and that's why they say it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
So it really is worth the time and the effort. To find that why. Think about that. I love that. Connecting that to, you want to be here. You want to be vital for your grandkids, your great grandkids, if possible, your great great grandkids.
Yeah.
And in order to live that quality of life, you've gotta think about those things today.
Yeah, and that's what it's all really about, is health and feeling your best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us for this conversation. Make sure you're following us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, www.lifeafterkids.com. Hope you have a great week.
Appreciate you.